Hello, everybody. Welcome to What's On in April. And there's loads and loads and loads on in April. Very exciting stuff, which we will tell you about. Right now, we are just getting ready to head for an event run by Scottish CND, which is an afternoon of poetry for peace, which sounds just delightful and good for the soul. So I'll just run through what's on in April, as usual. And as ever, it might change, but this is what we think is going to happen. So as usual, we have a video premiere on our YouTube channel on Tuesday at 8 o'clock, followed by the audio podcast versions, which go out on all audio podcast platforms on Fridays. So the first week in April, the video promo is Stuart Donald. He is a fascinating data analyst and statistician, and we're chatting to him about the union dividend, and he just debunks it thoroughly. So the union dividend debunked will be the first and fourth. You won't want to miss that. We would normally have a premiere on the 8th, but we won't be here.
We won't be here. We'll be in Brussels.
We will be in Brussels.
We've been invited over to help out on an event that's being organised by Yes for EU, going over to Brussels to talk to MEPs, to talk to them about Scotland and how how Scots who want independence feel strong connection with the EU, and just see generally what they have to say and if there's anything they can do to help us, but maybe also is there anything that we can do to help them. So what's happening while we're in Brussels then?
Well, I'm not sure. Maybe nothing.
Maybe nothing. Yeah.
Maybe nothing. Well, what we might do, and we're just saying this as a very, very possibly might, 8 o'clock, if we can work out what time 8 o'clock in Brussels is relative to 8 o'clock in Scotland, because our clocks will have changed by then, and I think that takes us another hour adrift, we might try and do a live stream from Brussels to our YouTube channel. That might not happen for all sorts of reasons. So if it doesn't, we have got an episode lined up for the Friday audio podcast, which will be the latest episode of Rising Clyde. And that is to do with Rosebank, which...
Big oil fields just to the west of Shetlands, isn't it? And,
and it was a
lot of controversy about that it shouldn't be taken any further, but our beloved Labour government have said, no, you can go ahead. That's maybe a bit unfair even to the Labour government, but it has got to go ahead to go to the next stage, and there's a lot of controversy about that and opposition to it. And Ian Bruce of the Rising Clyde programme, he's going to be talking to some of those activists.
So we will have the audio version of that, and you'll be able to watch his actual show on Independence Live. Then the week of Tuesday the 15th, Friday the 18th, we are hoping to have Philippa Whitford. You'll remember she was in the studio just a few weeks now talking about Gaza and the prospects for peace in Gaza. But we invited her back. She's so good to talk to. We invited her back into the studio to talk to us also about where she thinks we are as a movement and independence. Might also ask her about some of the other things floating around, like the ICCPR and the decolonization initiative. All those things might be interesting to get her take on.
So Philippa, if you're listening to this, what's on, that we might be asking you about those things.
But you can wing it, even if you don't do any research. And I'm sure she doesn't wing it. I'm sure she doesn't wing it, but I bet she could if she wanted to.
I'm sure she doesn't have to wing it. That's more like it.
Exactly. And then the 22nd and the 25th, we're not sure. That might either be the footage from the poetry afternoon, which we're going to just in a couple of hours, or it might be there's an event we're going to in Edinburgh on the 2nd of April, which is organised by Yes for You and Women for Indie Edinburgh. And it's got Asa Samaki Roman and Tommy Shepherd, and they're both talking about where next for Scotland. That sounds really interesting, and we're intending to go and film that. So we might have that footage instead. We're just one of those things. And we're aware that we still haven't brought you the footage that we promised you for the Independence Forum for Scotland conference, and we just haven't had time to pull it together. So that will also come in due course, but probably not in April. It'll probably be May.
Oh,
so as ever, busy, but it's fabulous. And thanks to everybody for supporting us and for buying us coffees and for giving us feedback and liking our sharing and stuff. It really all helps. Thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to make sure you're following us and subscribe to us, then you get notified every time we put something new out, so you don't miss anything. That would be great. Also, you can click the little bell if you're watching on YouTube.
And sign up for our mailing list. You can do that from the website, and we always send one out at the beginning of each month to tell you what's happening. Last but not least, you can buy us a coffee on coffee.com.